Hi, I'm Bo Menart. This is Arturo Garcia. We're here to represent David's distant past. Arturo is the first person I met when I moved to Los Angeles in 1971. I started working, 71. I started working in a recording studio with my father, and he said, you need to get some young people in here your age and start experimenting in the studio. So he gave me Arturo's number. I guess Arturo had done a session over there. And so we started experimenting with music and came up with some interesting things. And at the time, Arturo lived in Echo Park.
Beautiful Echo Park.
Echo Park, yes.
Mind you.
And a lot of the musicians that he would bring in the studio were from Echo Park. And they would always talk about this guy, David Bennett. It was like, who's that? And he said, oh, he's this great songwriter. You got to hear him. He said, where is he? Don't know. He's out on the road somewhere.
Echo Park.
No, he was out. He was like in Arizona or the South somewhere.
About right.
Yeah, right. He's always wandering around somewhere. And then about 6 months, a year later, Arturo came in for a session, and he brought this guy, David Bennett, and they started jamming in the studio, and I picked up this mandolin that was in the studio and started playing the song Son of the Howlin' Wind with him. I'd never played a mandolin before, but it's pretty good. And, of course, David was always working on something with his songs, and working on some deals, and we got some financing every once in a while, and we'd go in and do sessions or two, play, and I'd record them. And we recorded Son of the Howlin' Wind and a bunch of other songs. And we're going to do one of those songs right now. It's called Grandpa Jesse's Farm.
Well, way down in Nebraska, on Grandpa Jesse's farm, the land, it just died, it won't grow no corn. Grandma had to sell her crystal, and Grandpa sold his Civil War pistol to keep the page of life from being torn, and to try to save the land where they were born. Grandma's tears fell like rain, her hair was white as snow, her eyes shone so bright, they had lost their glow. She put her head on Grandpa's shoulder, and Grandpa thought she looked much older. When you get so old, life gets full of strife, especially for Jesse and his wife. Grandpa's dead, Grandma too, it's been a long time back. The field's full of rocks now, their house a ghostly shack. The days of farmers, they are gone, like the Sioux before them, they passed on. Sometimes I sit around and wonder why everything that lives has got to die. The days of farmers, they are gone, like the Sioux before them, they passed on. Sometimes I sit around and wonder why everything that lives has got to die. Ooh.
So over the years, David and I got together quite often and did a lot of guitar vocal demos of his songs. I mean, you know, he's probably written thousands and thousands of songs, and I've recorded several hundred of them, I'm sure. You know? I mean, I can write a song every once in a while, but David would write songs like every day, right?
That's what he did.
He was a songwriter, yeah.
Interesting.
And this is a song that I recorded a couple of years ago, and it's on an album I'm just finishing up. And it's just one of my favorite songs, and I'll play that one for you now. Okay.
Some people say she has my smile, and it's plain to see she's got a mind of her own. And she reminds me of you every once in a while, especially when she's feeling alone. She cries when she gets lonely, tears fall from her eyes so blue. You know, I think she cries a lot like you. Now she's got some dreams twice the size, and she has no doubt they'll all come true. But every now and then, one of them dies, and I see a little of you showing through. She cries when she gets lonely, tears fall from her eyes so blue. You know, I think she cries a lot like you. She cries when she gets lonely, and I don't know what to do. You know, I think she cries a lot like you. I think she cries a lot like you. You know, I think she cries a lot like you.
It took me about 6 months of practice to sing that song without breaking into tears, because I sort of remember the people that it was written about, and I didn't want to mention that before the song, because then I probably would have, because knowing that one of the subjects is probably watching this video. David would write songs that were part of his life or reflections of his life, and sometimes you had to live some experiences to write these songs. One of his more recent songs, he had a line saying, "Do you think that I would break my own heart, tear it apart, just so I could write a song about you?" Which means somebody actually proposed that question to him, right? So
I guess so.
yeah. But I don't think he accepted that. But this next song is probably precedes that last song by 10 or 12 years. A different time, different relationship.
Sharing my world with you, woman, is one of the best things I've known in this life. And I always felt so secure and sure I'd be living with my little boy and my wife. Then I kissed it all goodbye, traded my ceiling for the sky. And I really don't know why I kissed it all goodbye. Most anyone will tell you that loving a picker is no delight. You'll never be too secure, just poor. You see, we dream all day, and then we play all night. That's why I kissed it all goodbye. Traded my ceiling for the sky. Just like a bird, it was time to fly, and I kissed it all goodbye. Maybe freedom's being lonely. Maybe freedom's being blue. I promised that I'd love her only. Then I went right out and broke all the rules. That's when I kissed it all goodbye. I even stood and watched her cry. Just like a bird, it was time to fly, and I kissed it all goodbye. And I really don't know why I kissed it all goodbye. Now, David loved Echo Park. He grew up in Echo Park. He lived in Echo Park. We lived in Echo Park.
But
And,
he lived in Echo.
yeah, I lived next door to him in Echo Park for a while. But this next song is an Echo Park story. I think he loved Santa Cruz more, though, because once he moved to Santa Cruz, we
Never
didn't see
came
him very much anymore.
That was it.
But when he did come down, he came to Echo Park. So this song is probably one of the darkest songs I've ever heard that David wrote. He wrote a lot of strange songs, but this is a dark song. Ramona Aguilar went for a ride in Maniaco Joe's car. Man, that cottage shine was the color of burgundy wine. The baddest low rider you could find. Now Maniaco Joe, he was known for all the oats that he wished that he had sown. Mona said, I'm not afraid. Hey, he knows my brother Ray, and I don't believe he'd hurt me anyway. So they went, yes they went, for a slow cruise, while the radio played them old Echo Park blues. Now the look in old Joe's eye was like a spider to a fly, while Ramona admired the spit shine
on Joe's shoes. Now he drove that lowrider towards the park. It was 7, just an hour after dark. He put his hand on Mona's thigh. She said, Joe, you're gonna die. And then she got scared and started to cry. Now only the palm trees heard the sound as Maniaco Joe dragged Mona to the ground. Now Joe looked so amused and Ramona looked so confused, and she still looked that way when she was found. Now when Ray heard the news, he plain went mad, and he gathered his shotgun from the pad. Down at Kuka's store, all the boys were dressed for war. As they piled into Ray's Chevy, it was a 54. Now they drove on by the karaoke bar, and parked right outside was Maniaco Joe's car. The feeling in that bar room, oh, the air, it felt just like doom. And out back Joe just purchased his last spoon. Now Maniaco Joe looked so amazed. That shotgun roared, oh Lord, that shotgun blazed. Joe was blown against the wall. There was a crash as he did fall. Then he laid there quiet on the floor. This last song we're going to do is probably one of David's oldest songs. I imagine from maybe the late 60s or something. I'm sure somebody, Steve, his brother, probably knows exactly when he wrote it because they probably sang it together. This song is called New Light Shining, and it's got I'd like y'all to sing along on the chorus on this one. It's got a very nice sing-along chorus. And just continue to love each other as you loved him and as he loved you, okay? Thank you.
Take care.
The time has come for you and me to weave our souls. Take the halves and make them whole. We can stand together. There's a place beyond the sunset with the brightest star. Doesn't matter who you are, you can find a home there. It's the future and not the past that lies before us. There's no need to walk on old deserted roads. Yes, the prayers of the people will be answered. There's a new light shining down upon us all. The answers we've been seeking are realized. There's a gentle flow of freedom that we follow. With a sparkling rain of love, we've been baptized. No more sadness in our eyes, there's no more sorrow. Yes, it's the future and not the past that lies before us. There's no need to walk on old deserted roads. Yes, the prayers of the people will be answered. There's a new light shining down upon us all. These changes have been coming for a long, long time. We can see where once we were blind. It's a new tomorrow. Our dreams and visions have become realities. There's so much more we can be if we let our hearts go. Yes, it's the future and not the past that lies before us. There's no need to walk on old deserted roads. Yes, the prayers of the people will be answered. There's a new light shining down upon us all. Yes, it's the future and not the past that lies before us. There's no need to walk on old deserted roads. Yes, the prayers of the people will be answered. There's a new light shining down upon us all. There's a new light shining down upon us all. There's a new light shining down upon us all.